Guys, welcome back to another episode with Buddies and Blockbuster. As you know, I'm your host, AJ. I have Bob here, who's still staying awake. Keep in mind, he's in India, right? We have a good episode for you guys this week. We're talking about Tesla Cybertruck. It's like the next big thing. It was kind of released 3 weeks ago, not fully in production, but we thought it would be a good idea for us to give you guys a breakdown, as well as do a couple of comparisons with rivals or competition, and then how will the Cybertruck stack up against the existing models that we have right now. So let's dive straight into it. But before that, a small channel update. So what we thought after a solid 4 weeks, Bob, 4 weeks of Buddies and Blockbuster being in YouTube, we thought we want to condense our full-length episodes, right? Because we don't want to keep you guys bored. I know the 50-minute, is a long time and stuff like that. So what we're going to do moving forward is keep it short, make it to the point, and we will stick to the content that we talk about. And stuff like the movie reviews and additional topics would be its own videos. They're doing really well, and I appreciate all the support that you guys are giving us with all our movie reviews, and look forward to more of them. As and when we watch it, we will deliver a dedicated video for that movie. But should we include that in the full-length episode? I don't think so. It's too long. I think keeping it crisp, condensed, and clean is something that we're going to strive for, and hopefully keep it to 20 30 minutes. But if you guys don't like it, if you guys like it, just let us know in the comments, and we'll be sure to incorporate any kind of changes. But we thought this would be the best course of action. So keep us posted, guys, and hopefully you guys like it. Now, let's move on to the main subject, which is the Tesla Cybertruck. I'm not sure if you guys remember, this Cybertruck was announced 4 years ago, and they thought it's going to be released in a year. No, that took 2 years. 4 years later is when we have a couple of trucks in the road. Now, I haven't seen it in Texas yet, but there's a couple of them in production. This is not a full-scale production. There's a couple of them circling around. I did watch a couple of reviews done by a couple of YouTubers, and one of my favorites, MKBHD, Marcus Brownlee, who I always follow, did a deep dive about the Cybertruck. He actually had the Cybertruck for one full day. So be sure to check it out. He did a great job in terms of breaking down those components. So I'm going to keep it high level, give you guys a summary of what we know and what we like about it. And there's one question at the end that I want to talk to Bob and get his understanding about what he thinks about the truck as well. So in terms of the breakdown, there are 3 versions of the Cybertruck, or we could call it 3 trims. Right, we have the rear wheel drive, and I think that's the base model. It has a range for up to 250 miles, and it does a 0 to 60 in about 6.5 seconds. Now, that might be long, and that might be a lot more, but keep in mind, this is a pickup truck, and it's doing 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds. So that's pretty impressive. But as we go to the next trim, it gets even crazier. Right, we have the all-wheel drive with an estimated range of 340 miles. There's a jump from the base, and guess what? It's 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds. I mean, it's just crazy to think that a pickup truck would go in this type of speed. Right now, you might be thinking, okay, if that's crazy, then what is the other trim gonna do? Right, and we have something called, this is just like Elon Musk with his so-called name, has this new trim called the Cyber Beast. And it has a range of around 320 miles, a bit lower than the all-wheel drive, but it's still a lot more. And guess what? It goes 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds. And I've heard about these numbers only in sports cars or supercars like Lambos or Bugatti. Those are the cars that I think about who's going to do 2.6 seconds, 2 seconds, 0 to 60 and stuff like that. But for a pickup truck to do it, is it necessary? I don't know. I don't own a pickup truck. But in terms of giving you additional juice, I think this might be a good thing. If you're having a big load that you're hauling in, having that extra juice is probably going to help you guys in looking into this car as we move forward. So in terms of pricing, now keep in mind, 4 years ago, they had an initial spec or initial pricing quotes that they thought would be applicable. Now, it's not the same. It's actually double. It's double in price. So it starts at $60,990 for the base model, and that will be available only on 2025. And as we move into the all-wheel drive, the next trim, that's close to 80,000. It's close to 79,990, so 80,000. And that also gets delivered next year. That's 2024. Now, everybody's favorite, the actual beast, the Cyber Beast, is going to cost you about $100,000. Now, that's also going to be available in 2024. Now, all of these prices is definitely a huge bump in terms of what they promised or what they kind of presented in their exhibition like 4 years ago, because they initially thought the base model would start around 30 to 40, but now it's basically double, right? So that's the only kind of unfortunate piece. Maybe they shouldn't have advertised that. is my piece. But again, for these components, I think the main piece here is, one, it's Tesla, and the other thing is the design. I'm not sure if everybody has seen this. I don't think I've seen a car that looks this way. It's completely different. It's futuristic, more of like a Game Boy type of thing. and it looks unique. Anybody who has this, everybody's going to look at it as you drive past any kind of highway. This is something unique, and it's not like your usual pickup trucks like the F-150 of the world, or the Dodge Rams and stuff like that. So additional specs that I want to go through is, the towing capacity, right? That's kind of significant here, because the Cybertruck can tow in terms of the pulling length to about 11,000 pounds. That's huge. Because usually you might think, okay, it's an electric car, it's not gonna do much, but 11,000 pounds is a lot. Now the payload at the back is going to be 2,500 pounds, which is awesome. And in terms of the range, as I broke it down, it starts at 250, it goes all the way to 340 miles. In terms of power, it has about 600 horsepower for the all-wheel drive and 845 HP for the Cyber Beast, which is significantly more. And when we do a breakdown or a comparison with the competitor, you will realize the range as well as the kind of the competitiveness of the horsepower, and the car itself has a huge component between the two of them. So I've also talked about the top speed. It's the main piece to remember is going to be the Cyber Beast with the 2.6 seconds from 0 to 60. Now that's $100,000, so you got to keep that in mind. Now, in terms of specs, those were the highlights of the Cybertruck. I think for the most part, it has all the features of a Tesla, which is awesome, and it has a lot of juice, a lot of power that it can deliver as a pickup truck. I don't think that's going to be the single selling point of this car. I think it's going to be the design. It's so unique that I feel anybody who wants to take it just as an enthusiast would buy it. It's not just about labor intensive work. I think it's just about the way how it looks, and I think that's a selling point, and Tesla is going to make a lot of money with that piece. Now, are they going to live up to the production units? Because usually, with Tesla, they take a while. They take a long time in producing and delivering these components to the customer. So we've got to see. We've got to see how it pans out. But I think the design of it is something that I really like. Now, the next segment is about comparisons. Let's compare it to the competitor, right? I'm pretty sure Tesla or Elon Musk has thought about this when he created the Cybertruck, is to compete with the #1 selling car in America, and that's the Ford F-150, right? I did a bit of research about this. This car, this pickup truck, has been the #1 selling car in the US for 4 decades. But that's 40 years that this car has been like #1. The Cybertruck wants to beat it. Now let's see how it pans out. I don't know how much it's going to be there in terms of quantities and units sold, but that's something that we are yet to see. Now let's compare it with the F-150 Lightning, which released this year, in the beginning of the year. So I think the best comparison would be the F-150 Lightning, because these two are going at it. There's a lot of memes, so there's a lot of posts about the two of them, and let's go and break it down in terms of specs. So the dimensions of the Cybertruck stands at 5,683 millimeters long, so that's the length of the car, and it's 2,413 millimeters wide, right? So it does look a bit smaller when I compare it to the F-150 Lightning, because that's a bit more longer. It is 5,911 meters long, and it is 1,989 meters tall. So it's not a huge difference, but the F-150 is a bit more longer and a bit more taller than the Cybertruck. Is that going to shy away from the customers? I don't think so. It's a small aspect of things, so we should see how these things pan out, but that shouldn't be the naysayer of, oh, we shouldn't buy the Cybertruck because the F-150 is like a couple of meters bigger. So that's the dimensions. In terms of power, as I mentioned before, the highest that the Cybertruck can go is 845 horsepower, and the all-wheel drive gives you 600 respectively. Now, in terms of the F-150, it's significantly lower, and this is where the Cybertruck is going 2 steps ahead of the F-150, because it depends on the batteries for the F-150, and the highest it can do is 580 horsepower or 452. Now compare that to the 800 and the 600 that the Cybertruck has. It's a significant shock opposite, right? At least there's a 200 HP difference between the two of them. And in terms of speed, F-150's top speed is 4.5 seconds, and with the larger battery, it's 5.1 seconds. Now, the Cyber Beast can do it in a bit over 2 seconds. So again, the speed and the horsepower, Cybertruck is kind of 2 steps ahead of this. So in terms of towing and payload, the Cybertruck in all trims, regardless of all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, as well as the Cyber Beast, it can tow up to 11,000 pounds, and it can haul up to 2,500 pounds in the cargo bed. So that's always a good thing. And the Ford F-150 Lightning has the capacity, with the smaller battery, it does about 7,700 pounds. With the larger battery, it goes up to 10,000 pounds. Now, that's just a 1,000 pound difference, but again, you got to go with the larger battery to get up to the 10,000 mark, right? So again, the Cybertruck is a bit more ahead of the Lightning, which is a good thing for the Tesla firm. So we'll see how it does. And in terms of the battery and charging, the Tesla Cybertruck uses the 123 kilowatt battery that provides about the same range of 340 miles per hour, which is the highest in the rear wheel drive. Now, in terms of the Ford F-150, it only gives you about 386 kilometers. I need to convert that, but I'll put that in the screen. But that's the maximum it can go to. Compared to the Cybertruck, it's a lot more kind of lesser. I don't think the range of the battery is going to be a huge factor between the two of them, because they're more or less the same. I think the main distinction is going to be with the price. As I told you, the prices for the Cybertruck initially was to be around the 30 to 40,000 range for the base model, but right now the base model starts at 60,000, right? And it goes all the way to 100,000 for the Cyber Beast. Compare that to the Ford F-150, and this is where a lot of customers would prefer to go there. It's mainly because of the price. It starts about 54,000. It's 6,000 lesser than the Cybertruck, and it goes all the way to 91,000. So I think the main area in terms of where the F-150 Lightning has a advantage would be the price, because it's significantly cheaper. But if you want to be unique, if you're looking at the design specifically and we want to stand out with all the horsepower, the speed, as well as the towing capacity, which usually is needed for any pickup truck, I think the Cybertruck is beating the competition right now. Now, we do have other competitors, like the Rivian Hummer has come up with a new electric vehicle as well. We've got it. It'll be good to see how it stacks against them. I'm more than happy to do like a comparison video on that. But for now, I think this is its competition in terms of quantity. And it'll be good to see if Tesla can live up to it. And the main component would be the production. Can Tesla produce X amount of Cybertrucks in the right time for it to be delivered to the customer? I think it's going to be a hit. I like it. I'm not a super fan with the other Tesla models, but when I saw the Cybertruck, that's one of the vehicles that I actually like because of the uniqueness, because of the design. And hopefully, like in the future, if Bob and I does well in this channel, we'll buy a Cybertruck and name it Buddies and Blockbuster. So that concludes at least the comparison as well as a high-level breakdown about the Cybertruck. Let us know what you think, which piece is better in your eyes. And would you buy the Cybertruck? I'm curious to know. Like, let us know in the comments down below. Now, in terms of the question that I want to bring up Bob now, he's been quiet this whole episode, but now he's gonna chime in because I want his perspective. As I haven't seen a pickup truck. I mean, I've seen 18-wheelers or the lorries, Tempo and all that stuff in India, but not a true pickup truck. And I wanted to know, do you think, do you think a pickup truck will work, like a dedicated pickup truck? And two, something like this, something so unique like the Tesla Cybertruck, will that be a hit in India?
The first thing is people love to have the Cybertruck here in India. I have 75 people, not only the Cybertruck, even they wanted the Tesla to be in the India. But the vehicle minister is telling he will not get the Tesla here because it will lose many people's job. So he doesn't want that. The driver's jobs will lose. So he doesn't want that. And coming to the point of this pickup vans, Tesla is a bit costly. The Cybertruck is very costly. And in India, we have other things where Tata, Ashok Leyland and other stuff, small things. These are very suitable for the Indian roads, as you know that the space what we have. For those stuff, we have this one is very good. But for the people who wants, me, when I saw the Cybertruck, I was like, wow, what is this? Something came out of the game. Because this kind of cars I've seen in the games, when I was a kid, when I used to play the game, I used to see this kind of cars, right? And now, all of a sudden, right in front of us, the car is there. It looks really good. I saw 4 years back, when Elon Musk came and he was introducing the Cybertruck to the people, and with the bulletproof and other stuffs, all the stuffs he was showing. I was amazed with that. So if we compare to the Tesla and for the Indian, I feel people will go for the Indian itself. They will not go for the Tesla because of the narrow roads and other stuffs. And again, if they get it, fuel, the charging points, they have to build all the charging points, electricity,
the charging stations,
so that will be another problem. And when it comes to the Indian pickup trucks, I guess the technology, what has in the Tesla, in this we don't have the technologies, the whatever he has given, that speed, everything, he has given that look, everything, but when it comes to this one, we don't have. So people will not, as people want it, maybe they will get it for driving purpose, not for the labor purpose activities, not for those. They just wanted to use it because that concept is very unique. That looks like a beast. So people wanted that, but the Indian government is not letting them to come. Maybe in the future it might come. So hoping for that. And I see lot of specification you mentioned. They have a lot of things that's really great.
And do you think a couple of cars, like electric cars that's there available right now in India, does that match with these specifications that I mentioned, or is it still far below? What do you think?
It's far below only. It's not the one which you have specified, because see, you need that 10,000 tons to pull, right? So you have that much speed and other stuffs. So that Tesla has more, but not this one. And compared to the price, when we see it, what Tesla is giving, that is way best. And what in India we are getting it, that is for whatever we are paying, we are getting it for. The price wise, we feel it is giving the advantage. But from that,
well, I hope to see. It'll be good to see at least one or two Cybertrucks in India and going in the off-road and trying to do crazy things. And maybe the enthusiasts can just take it, the rich folks who just wants to have these crazy toys with them. Maybe it'll work with that, because one, it's a good point to bring up. I didn't realize Tesla is not even there, right? Maybe you can just import it. And a lot of these actors or celebrities and stuff like that, they do it, right? I've seen a couple of Mustangs there, something that I have, and other Lambos and stuff like that. All of that is imported. It's not like it's there in India. So maybe we'll see it. I'm yet to see it. I'm in Texas. I've not seen it much, but there is a couple that I saw in terms of the videos, but I've not seen it in person. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed at least a breakdown It'll be good to see and how this scales up or stacks up with the other competitors, as this was a building process, right? 4 years in the making, and finally we're seeing it in production and in the roads. So I'm looking forward to it, and let me know, would you actually buy this, and would you actually pay 100,000 for the Cyber Beast because of the 2.6 seconds 0 to 60 component? Does a pickup truck even need that much juice? It's always good to have, but I'm just curious to know, what do you think about the Cybertruck, and would you choose this over the F-150? Again, as you know, we all love you guys. We love the support that you guys are giving us over the past just couple of weeks. We have grown as a channel. We'll continue to have these type of topics and content coming up. We'll keep it crisp and clear, but always continue to help us and support us because we appreciate it. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video because I want the whole world to know that Buddies and Blockbusters is here to stay. All right? Thank you.